Broadside Books and Harper Audio present The Big Guy, How a President and His Son Sold Out America, by Miranda Devine, read by Charles Constant. To the Whistleblowers. You do a favor for me, and you are my friend. You do a favor for my son, and you are a friend for life. Joseph Robinette Biden, Jr., 46th President of the United States. Introduction. You gotta be an expert in knowing the guy, and Hunter was the guy that was the expert in knowing the guy. Devin Archer, July 31st, 2023. November 14th, 2019. This book started out as a corruption story about presidential candidate Joe Biden. I began covering it for the New York Post in October 2020, the night that Rudy Giuliani's lawyer, Bob Costello, texted me 4 photos from Hunter Biden's laptop and offered me a scoop. The abandoned MacBook was a window into the Biden family business, a secret international influence peddling operation that Hunter operated to great profit during his father's time as the globe-trotting vice president of the Obama administration, who would become leader of the free world. 4 years on, Hunter Biden has repeatedly and under oath denied the authenticity of that sordid MacBook, but it has been used by prosecutors as evidence against him in his felony trials. Some of the revelations about Hunter's adventures in countries such as Ukraine and China were covered in my first book, Laptop from Hell. But the bigger story turned out to be the cover-up, and that is what this book is about. It is the story of how the FBI, the CIA, the State Department, the IRS, and the Department of Justice conspired to protect Joe, his crack addict son Hunter, and his scandal-prone brother Jim from the consequences of their reckless greed. The extent and nature of their crimes are coming to light as the United States and the world it leads face grave dangers from the very countries where the Bidens made millions of dollars. Time and again, when the Bidens were in peril, an invisible hand reached out to save them, whether by creating a false media narrative about the firing of an honest Ukrainian prosecutor, co-opting social media to censor the oldest newspaper in the country, or sabotaging a criminal investigation in Delaware. We now know that the national security agencies were involved in efforts to bury and censor the Post's exclusive about Hunter's laptop in October 2020. That could be seen as amounting to election interference, which prevented the American people from doing the necessary due diligence on one of the 2 candidates for president. Venal politicians are a familiar scourge in Washington, but the cover-up of the Biden scandal was worse, since it involved the corruption of institutions that are supposed to keep us safe. The erosion of public trust will reap bleak dividends for years to come. Devin Archer, Hunter's former best friend in business, recalls one of Joe's favorite sayings that he heard him repeat over the years to their clients and prospective business partners. "You do a favor for me, and you are my friend," Joe would say. "You do a favor for my son, and you are a friend for life." It left nobody in any doubt that paying money to Hunter was the equivalent of paying his powerful father. In notoriously corrupt countries like China, Ukraine, Russia, Romania, and Kazakhstan, where the Biden family traded cash for Joe's good graces, it was implicitly understood that you don't pay bribes to government officials, you pay their family members. In China, the sons of high officials are called princelings. Around the world, lavishing largesse on princelings is a classic hallmark of corruption. And yet, as the evidence continued to mount that this was precisely how the Biden family did business, Democrats and their many friends in the media continued to insist that Joe had done nothing wrong. The traditional news media, gripped by the delusion that Donald Trump was an existential crisis who necessitated a new form of oppositional journalism, were willingly duped by their intelligence sources. They collectively ignored the story and shunned colleagues who broke ranks. The key to unlocking the scandal was the laptop from hell, as Trump dubbed Hunter's manic machine. Anybody who scoured it for evidence of corruption was under constant threat of being ambushed by hundreds of selfies of Hunter's erect penis, sometimes adorned with M&Ms, or flanked by a ruler, or being massaged by a pair of dainty feet, or simply flopped into a...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?